It's man like Dan. Come on! Welcome to Melanated Proud. Before I go on, I want you guys to just subscribe, like this, share with your family, because I know you lot are watching this, so don't be selfish, innit? Let them know, innit? Let them know.
Well, like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe. Man. He's doing big things, man. He's doing big things.
Come on. All right. Beside me, man's got the wenchest man in the room still. I can't even lie. His arms are swollen. But man like Rich, innit? We're going to talk about something real deep today, innit? So, this guy is really just doing his thing, innit? I think he's very successful in his own right. He's got a positive mindset. He's just a true inspiration, innit? That's all I can say. So, let's just get straight into this, innit? Because I know you lot would rather us just get into this, innit? But before we begin, let me just give you a round of applause, innit? Because you're the guy, innit? You're the guy.
Yeah, well, as you said, in my own right, successful in my own right. But yeah, thanks, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. And yeah, man, I'm going to return it back to you, bruv. It's a big podcast, you get me? You're bringing people on. You're giving people good knowledge, good content, man. It's brilliant what you're doing, though. So, man, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Big man thing. It's a real honor to be here, man.
I paid him, innit? I paid him. But, let's get into it, innit? Because I know you're trying to run away.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you, because of the environment that we live in, and it's not necessarily the most positive environment, innit?
Yeah.
So that made me think to myself, how do you actually make it when you're in an environment where it's not so positive, innit? So when I'm thinking about you, I'm like, you're doing your thing, innit? So my question to you is, how does someone become successful whilst living in ends?
Yeah, I think to me, how I've become successful in my own right, and just by judging the way the people around me did it, which is really important, it's just by being determined, man. You just got to be determined to sort of change your future and your surroundings as well. Not necessarily to change the wherever you live itself, but you have to be determined to change your own life. And if you just set yourself goals that you want to achieve, then it's gonna come. And you just got to be determined and hardworking, man. I know it's so cliche for me to say, but you just have to be curious to achieve more and not just succumb to what everybody else is doing, because it's so easy to just get carried away. Yeah.
Now let's talk. What's everyone else doing, innit?
Bro, I'm not gonna speak for everything.
We're not even trying to shame the people, innit?
Yeah.
It's more of a thing where your environment doesn't have to determine your success.
Yeah, of course.
You don't have to follow what everyone else is doing as well, innit?
Yeah.
But it's easy to, but it's harder to actually see the bigger picture, innit? So it's not a place where you have the best sort of role models as well, innit?
Yeah.
So how does someone actually knuckle down? So my sort of side question to that is do you think the environment actually determines whether you will be successful or not?
Yeah, so that's a two-part question. It's a really good question. I think in terms of an environment dictating what a person is going to become, it definitely can play a massive input, but you just, the be-all end-all it's how much you are determined to be who you are. If you think, okay, cool, because I'm surrounded by something and I'm in this and, I'm just so involved, it could easily make you a victim of that circumstance, and then you're never going to be able to overcome it. You're never going to be able to transcend whatever negativity you have in your life, or just based around what people are doing, where you live. You just might become caught up in that crowd. But it's up to you to make that decision of, I'm not going to do this anymore, if you are doing it, or if you haven't done it yet, I want to do something different. And then it's about taking action, setting yourself goals, just being curious to learn more. Just try new things.
We're not talking about the practical part yet. But I hear what you're saying, though. Let's stay in the environment, though, innit? Because environment's a big thing, innit? We can even dissect that even further. So let's speak friendship groups.
Yeah.
How important is it to surround yourself with the right circle?
That I think makes it, makes up a huge percentage about who you are. I think it says, I've read in a psychology book, you make up, your personality is made up of the 5 people that you're closest with. And it's just important to surround yourself with the right people, because at least if you're going off track, they can bring you back on track. You can also learn from them, get inspiration from them. So yeah, I'm just lucky enough, I attribute my relative success to the people that I'm surrounded by. Like I see my closest 5-6 people around me, and we're all doing well. We're all shining. We're all successful in our
but was it
own
always
rights.
like that though?
Yeah, it wasn't always like that. Like, you've all got to start somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all young, you might have fun from time to time. You might just be, just a young guy. You don't really know what's going on. You don't really know what's important. Your priorities are different. So yeah, I wouldn't say we've been successful all the way, but yeah, just by us like all inspiring each other, driving each other, setting an example for each other. Because it's like, you're saying, oh, rah, he's doing this or he's doing that. Then you go, okay, cool. I can do it then because he's doing it. Or it gives you an idea of, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah.
So that's how I found it in my friendship group, Yeah, I'm just lucky enough to have them in my life, and they've been able to push me. So it's just been really good for
No, it's
for me,
facts, man. Because like what you consume really does overtake you and shape you, innit? Like whether you like it or not, it's gonna do something, innit? So like, I even think about, let's say when you're walking past like a car radio or something, and you hear music, it just ends up being in your head, innit? So like, there's so many things that are going into our mind or our body without us actually knowing, innit? So if you're around people that are quite negative, your thoughts are almost going to be negative as well, innit? The way you think, the way you see life. So if you're seeing positivity, if you're hearing ambitious sort of like plans, you're also going to think similarly. And
100%.
there's this analogy, like it's to do with like the mind, innit? Like the garden specifically. Like I read this book in it. So like, let's imagine like your mind's a garden, innit?
Yeah.
So each time you plant a seed in your garden, so your mind, it's going to grow. So whether it's good, whether it's bad, and it's going to bear fruit regardless, innit? So whilst it's growing, you're also going to get weed as well. So unless you're maintaining your garden and removing that weed,
100%.
you're going to get some weeds growing as well as the good fruit as well, innit?
Yeah.
I know it's a bit deep, innit? But what I'm saying, regardless, what you plant into your mind is going to grow, innit?
Yeah.
So you decide what you plant into your mind, innit? So whether that's the friends you have around you, the conversation that you have, like, it's going to grow, innit?
Yeah.
So you decide.
Yeah. 1,000%. I think, that's such a key point, If you're surrounded by negativity, and as I said before, it's very easy to become a victim of your surroundings, and then your friendship group can emphasize that if they're just not determined enough or they're not positive enough to help themselves, and then through that they're helping you as well. They're not necessarily giving you advice, but they're setting an example for you to follow, and that's so key. I think friendship groups are really important, but you know what? I think even more crucial to that is how you've been brought up, your parents. And what it is our parents are from a different generation, a different lifestyle, different backgrounds. I grew up here. My parents grew up back home in Ghana. So their mind frame and their thought processes are completely different to mine. So what happens is when you grow up, you get taught how they think. And that might not necessarily be the right way to think. It might not be the right way to live your life.
But it still has an effect on your...
It still has an effect on any decision you make. Especially like, I know, I'm not going to speak for all African parents, but from the ones that I know, they are so risk adverse with money. They just think, save. Don't invest, just save. And that can have an impact into how you come up, right? So, aside from friendship groups, your family as well has to do with that, because they are your first friends and they're the people you probably are likely to know the longest. Your parents, your siblings. And if you're brought up by that and you're not determined enough to push past that, or you don't have the right friendship group to expose you to different things, then there you go. Do you know what I mean? Combined with the environment, you're not really gonna, have that desire to be successful.
Bro, it's tricky because like when you even deep it, like the only things, some of the things that kept people's head down was like, let's say sports, or just staying inside completely, innit?
Yep.
So how does someone like get the sort of time to have that time to literally think about their plans or think positively if they're just trying to be around friends and socialize? You get what I mean? Like when you reflect on your own experiences as well, like it's a bit mad.
Yeah, but I think also, you touched on a point earlier. It depends on what you consume.
Yeah.
It's about you being curious to find out more information about how you can better your circumstances. Like we're talking about reading, we're talking about just watching different videos or whatever, however you choose to do it. You just have to be naturally a curious person to want to know more. Like your desire to learn other things should be just naturally strong. In terms of cultivating that mindset, I just think it just comes from yourself, how determined you are to push past. And that for me has just always been a driver. You said sports as well. I think that's a really big way of you know, building up determination, you know, true grit, because you're not going to be winning all the time. So it breeds a certain, you know, competitiveness and drive and desire for you to always want to achieve, want to win, want to deliver. And that feeds into like you as a person, feeds into your work rate, feeds into your relationships, your friendships. And that's what I'm saying. It's like a whole ecosystem in itself. Like it's a whole cycle that you have to start, though. You are the trigger point. Because if you're relying on your environment to change and you live in the same ends for 20 plus years, that's not going to change. If you know, if you're not lucky enough like me to have good friends around you, it's even worse, because you're surrounded by negativity, you're surrounded by people who are doing the wrong things, and then you're never going to improve, man. So you have to have that natural desire to push, and you know, that can just come from a variety of different things, man. Generally, it's just one of them ones.
Yeah, no, it's facts, man. It's facts. So like, let's even speak about that even further. So like, many times people might want to use the environment as a reason as to why they haven't made it, or situation they go through in it. So why is it that there's times where people feel as though they can't be successful or in the environment, or they don't see the bigger picture? Like, what do you think are the actual reasons why people don't see it?
Me personally, I'm gonna say something really controversial.
Go on.
How I genuinely feel this. It's an easy way out, man. It's so easy to settle for mediocrity. It's easy for you to just give up. It's easy for you to just say, everything is going so against me, this is the way I'm going to be for the rest of my life. It's so easy for you to go the back door route. It's so easy for you to do what everybody else is doing. It's so hard for you to actually say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to succumb to this. I'm going to try my hardest to get out of this. That's the hard route out. You know, I'll go even further. For somebody to say, I'm going to go the legal route, is easier for somebody to say, I'm going to do it 100% legal way. You're living in a certain environment where everybody's doing one thing and you're going the complete opposite way. You're going to have people against you. You're going to have to, you know, learn new things, challenge yourself to push in a new environment where nobody else has experience in. That's such a hard route, and people don't want that. Nobody wants a hard life. You know, we can all be in the ends sitting on the block doing whatever, chilling all day.
Because it's easy.
It's easy. It's easy. Do you see what I'm saying? But for you to put on a suit and go to, you know, you graduate from uni or whatever, you start an internship or an apprenticeship, whatever. For you to get dressed every morning, you're waking up at 6, you're eating, you're
discipline,
traveling,
all of that you're gaining.
Discipline. You know, then you're gonna earn, you know, your 20K a year, and then you're getting taxed on top. It's hard. It's hard. You're looking at a man down the road who's earning, you know, 5 bags a week, and he's got the whip and the chain, and he's come on, you know, he's flexing on you, like saying like, "Right, what are you doing in your little suit? You're going to this dead job, man. Come and work with me." Like, it's so easy for you to just go, "Nah, do you know what? Ban it, man. I'm just gonna be like this guy." But yeah, man, we don't want to work hard anymore. You know, I see something on Instagram going around that says soft life this and soft life that. You know, nobody's saying work yourself to the grave. Like, don't kill yourself striving for a goal. But you've got to be prepared to work hard. That's what it is. Hard work is life. That's what it is.
You're right, man.
I don't understand, like, why it's like you're shy to get your hands dirty. Like, nothing good comes easy, and nothing great comes without an immense amount of effort. You know, the people who've hit the 1 million, 2 million, 3 millions, they've worked hard for it, man. And if you're seeing that as your goal, you got to be prepared to sacrifice, man. Yeah. And people just, they don't want to do that. No,
it's true, man. No one wants to put the work in.
Don't want to put the work in.
They want the reward.
You want the reward. You just want to be put on. That's why so many of these scams.
Bro, it's all fast life.
It's quick. That's it. It's fast money, fast life. It's all great. You know, social media has a massive part to play in it as well. You know, everybody looks like they're doing so well, but
it's because people don't realize what you're actually gaining from, like, the hard work in it. Like I said, the discipline, the strength, the positivity, like those skills are going to help you achieve the success or the wealth that you want to obtain.
100%.
So like, another reason why I feel people do not believe that they can achieve certain things or they don't actually achieve it is because of excuses.
1000%.
I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, there's different excuses. So that could be like health excuses. It could be, oh, I'm not too smart enough. It can be your age. I'm too old. Or I'm too young. And there's like a fourth one in it. Let me try to think. Luck.
Yeah.
How many times people say, oh yeah, I'm not lucky enough, or that person's lucky. Like, all these things are reasons why people don't make it, because like they're justifying why they cannot achieve certain things. So like it's all of the doubt. Doubt is just gonna lead to failure.
Exactly.
Thinking about positivity is gonna lead to victory. Like, it's completely different, innit? And you really need to just start taking accountability. The moment you're just entertaining excuses, you're just allowing yourself to fail.
That is the word.
That's
accountability. That is the word. Accountability and responsibility for your own life.
Hey, this man's rhyming.
Nobody wants this. We don't want it. Nothing is our fault. Nothing is under our control. I'm gonna throw a question back at you.
Yeah, go on.
You mentioned all of these things: age, luck,
health, like smartness.
But how big of a part do you think your race plays in you being successful? Because a lot of black people, or some black people, sometimes attribute that to them not being successful. They believe the system is so put up against them that they have no choice but to be unsuccessful, or there's so little routes or little paths to success. So I want to know your take on that.
I'm trying to set me up.
It just came to mind. Sorry, it just came to mind.
It's true though, but no one is gonna deny that the barriers or the discrimination and so on is there, like 100%. But that does not mean that your life is made up. Like, now you can't be able to achieve success. It all comes down to mindset again. So whether people like or not, it's still another form of excuse. Like, you can have a leg that's injured, or like no leg at all, and you might feel as though you can't run again. You can see people in the Paralympics, they still find a way, man. Or you find a way to cook. Like, just because your left eye isn't working, your right eye is. Do you know what I'm saying? Just because your leg's not working, your hands are. Like, if you change your mindset to think about what still is possible, or what you can still do, that can allow you to achieve success. But when you're focusing on the things that you cannot actually have any control over, it's just surrendering your fate and saying, oh yeah, I can't do anything. So for me personally, I always feel like there's something you can do. Of course, it might make things harder, but it's still possible. And that's my sort of message. Like, no matter what, there's still things that you can do. There's still people in your exact area that are still achieving success. People that come from the same situation as you. Some people that have been in even worse scenarios, but they still 100%. Made it. But why? I think it comes down to their mindset, the difference in how they saw their sort of life, or their possibility of achieving success. That's what it comes down to. But the moment you're telling yourself, I can't do this because I'm black, or I haven't got my father around, or I don't know, I haven't got enough money. Like, think about what you can actually do. That's what I think the focus should be on. But often, it's not just like in terms of race, but I think it's a human thing. We just focus on the things that we don't actually have, or we can't do things about. And that's where we waste our time and energy. And I feel like that's where we lose the moments to actually achieve success.
Exactly. If you spend as much energy focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't control, you'd be a lot further, you'd be a lot further along than you actually are now.
Even in terms of your words, the moment you say I can't, you literally just give up. There's no imagination, because you've already set in your mind that you cannot do it. But if you say I can, you might not even believe it. In fact, say it a few more times, and even say it in public, say it to people. Then I promise you, you'll start thinking of ways of trying to achieve whatever it is that you set out to do. It might not seem like it's possible, but if at least you've created ideas, and then you're gonna try and make it work. The difference in what you say will either lead to effort or stagnancy. So just like do nothing. So you just saying you can, you're gonna try. You say you can't, you're not gonna try. Big difference.
It's almost like putting up a barrier, right? And every single time somebody's successful, or I like to relate it to sport, because it's something that everybody can sort of relate to and stuff like that. But when you look at pro footballers, or any sort of pro pro sportsman, runner, tennis player, athlete, whatever. When they talk about success, it's never about their physical qualities. It might just be slightly about that, you know, it might give you a little bit of an advantage. He's tall, he's a little bit faster than the rest. But it's that constant emphasis on drive, determination. How brave are you? How hardworking are you? What's your discipline like? Your motivational levels? What are you like when things are not going your way? You know, those are the attributes that, you know, often they're not taught. You have to learn. And I think, you know, it's so easy for us to succumb to, you know, I can't do this because of this reason, that reason. It's just an easy way out to say, yep, I'm not going to be successful. And then you relinquish that accountability. You relinquish that responsibility. How further along would you be if you just said, do you know what? This is down to me. I'm going to do the best that I can do. And I should be able to get somewhere.
No one wants to be accountable.
No one wants to be accountable.
It's them. Like, they're the issue.
You're the issue.
It's not your situation. It's
Bro,
you.
you're on Instagram, like your Instagram average time is 4 hours, 5 hours a day, and you're telling me like you're not the issue. Like what? You know, you're at work and you're saying, no, my boss is not really empowering me. I'm sure you work in a big company. You've not tried other avenues. You're the issue. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so much more you can do versus what you can't do. So much, you know. Yeah, we could go on.
We could talk about it all day, man.
We could talk about it all day. You really could. You really could.
But if anything, I promise you, just experiment this, innit? Like, listen to the conversation you have with your friends, or your colleagues. Just notice that some of them that make excuse all the time, make an excuse, I promise you'll find that they make their excuses for every sort of scenario. It's not just to do with work, it will be to do with any sort of task. Like, excuses will be so consistent. But when you look at the people they have in your circle that are just accountable for everything that they do, I promise you, they're probably the ones that are achieving more success right now. Because they're trying to see ways in which they can also affect things and be more efficient. Like, it's a big difference. One's going to lead to success, one's going to lead to failure. And that's the fact.
Yeah, that's the be or end all. And at the end of the day, you know, I think there's one thing that's really important. It's all good to have ideas. It's all good to have thoughts, positive thoughts. But, you know, the most important thing is to try. This is the issue. Nobody actually wants to give it a good go.
Yeah.
People are not really determined to carry on through tough times, to carry on when things are not going your way. You know, it's all great when things are going for you. You're earning money. Who are you as a person when things are not going your way? When things really hit the fan? When your boss is down your neck, he's breathing on your neck.
Come on,
and you're thinking, like, how can I pull this together? Who are you in those situations? That's where those other attributes come in. Determination, you know, you striving through tough times, you being resilient, you being brave. That is where those really important things come in.
And that all comes from experience. You will gain no experience by sitting still and not trying.
That's it. And that's it. That's all you have to do is just try. And I think that was one thing I had to learn for myself. Because, you know, I grew up in a household, you know, I was very supported. It was a great household, mum, dad present. But they didn't encourage me to try too much. It was always within the realms of what they felt were comfortable. Go to uni, get a good job, buy a house, start a family, and that's it. You know, there was no talk around investments. There was no talk around starting your own business. There was no talks around exploring different environments, trying new things. You know, I remember something even as minor as, like, you know, in 2016, during my first year of like real employment, I was doing all right. So I was like, I'm going to go to Thailand. They're like, what are you going to do there? What's there for you?
Thailand?
Why are you going there? You know, like those sort of like little comments. Nobody goes there. Black people don't go there. Like, why?
But you know, all that encourages like restriction, fear, for no reason.
It's breeding fear. But just because you haven't done it and you don't know what's on the other side, now you want me to feel the same way.
I know, you just touch a nerve, bro. Because like people do this within your circle as well. Whether it's your family or your circle, like they're projecting their fear on you. And that can stop you from actually going out to do what's on your heart to do, whether it's like a dream. So don't let people's limitations or insecurities hold you back from becoming the person you want to be.
And that's the thing. That's why I mentioned about, you know, friends around you are important, but family and upbringing is even more important because, as you just said, they project their fears and their hesitations upon you. And you have to spend the rest of your life unlearning that, being really conscious about how you feel towards certain things. You have to constantly ask your questions why you're doing things, you know? Why don't I want to do this? Why am I waking up at 7:30 when I can wake up at 6:30, get an hour back? Why am I not as disciplined? Why am I not successful? Why am I not determined enough? Why am I not pushing myself in this? Is this what you really want to do? Because, you know, one thing I had to learn as well, there is no perfect scenario.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's a mirage that I feel like this soft life and this, you know, look after yourself, you know, generation is trying to preach to us. You know, it's not perfect to the T, so it's not for you. No. There's no such thing.
Sometimes, bro, everyone's waiting for the perfect moment. That will never, ever happen.
Never happen.
Everyone in life is going through something. That's just a fact.
It's just a fact.
But they've still found ways to get to where they are.
To make it.
Like, think about how many human beings are in the world. You feel like no one's going through stuff.
Bro, it's insane, you know. When you start to be really conscious of your thoughts and really start to guard your thoughts and really realize how you feel towards certain things, you start to realize how much you have to actually unlearn.
Yeah.
And that in itself is even more important than you learning things.
Yeah. It's
learning how to not behave a certain way, how to not think a certain way. And, you know, there's just a saying, you know, an old saying that says, if everybody, you know, you're going to a place where you can all swap your own problems and pick up other issues, right? Because you feel like you're so burdened, where you get to throw all of your problems in a pile.
Yeah.
90% of the time, you take your problems and say it's okay. You not just keep your problems over there.
You don't know what other people are going through.
I'm not even going through that much. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why I was complaining that much. And you know, we can all be a victim to our circumstances.
It's true, man.
It's about
like,
pushing through, man. That's what it is.
But what we was discussing earlier, that's kind of like to do with like your foundation, so like your thoughts and everything. Because when things hit the fan and you're going through a madness, that's where you're gonna see whether your foundation is strong enough to keep you afloat.
Yeah,
like that's what anchors do. Like, it keeps you afloat, innit? And so have you actually got a proper anchor there, innit? Like, your situation should not change who you are.
Yep.
Like, circumstances shouldn't change you. Otherwise, you're gonna be changing like the seasons. Like 100%. Each season, you're just gonna change, be a different person.
Yeah.
But you should be able to maintain who you are. I'm not saying that the seasons are gonna be easy. It's still gonna be difficult, but situations just reveal what's already inside.
Exactly.
That's all it does. And that's why I feel like everything that occurs in our life is premeditated.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's a good decision or bad decision, every mistake that you've made or every good thing that you've done, it's been premeditated.
Yeah. And you have to understand, most of the circumstances that you're in are down to the decisions that you made.
Yeah.
So whose fault is it then? Who's you know, who's the issue? You can look around and you know, look at all of these different things, but you know, you have to be conscious about the decisions you're making as well. That can have a massive impact. Yeah. And you know, it's all about changing your mind frame. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. There's a difference. I'm not saying every single situation that happens is a positive one. I'm not away with the fairies or nothing like that. But things happen for you. Down the line, in the long run, it's going to work for you. When stuff hits the fan, if you're pushing through, that's setting you up for future success. It's setting you up for a different mindset to say, it was bad back then, this is easy. I'm just going to push through now. That's it. And, you know, we need to just start changing our mind frame. Not everything is going to be easy. This soft life craze, you know, I brought it up too many times that there's a massive issue.
That's a strong passion right there.
No, I know, but it's frustrating. You know, people are like, you know, I'm not built for suffering. I'm not built for struggle. This life is full of hardships. You're going to go through difficult times. You know,
it's the pain and the struggle that gives you the strength.
That gives you the strength.
Like,
how crap would life be if everything was so easy anyway?
Yeah. Bro, you know? Like, there's so many examples. Like, when you go to the gym, you have to go through some sort of pain in order for you to gain muscle size or strength.
Everything.
Like, gold has to be purified, has to be placed through fire.
Yeah.
Before it really has its true value.
Exactly. Chiseled. Every single hard metal that you think looks great has to be chiseled. There's a rigid process to get it to look that way. Like, nothing is, you know, it's very rare. It's rare instances where things fall in line for people. The rest of us, go out there, work hard. Simple as. That's it.
But it's not like we're even saying it's easy. Like, that's not what we're trying to say. But
Yeah.
it's just accepting the facts. Like, even the wealthy people just look at
They're hard, yeah.
the materialistic stuff that they have in it, not the grind, the personal sacrifices that they had to make. If you're not looking at that in terms of like your plan or like your journey to achieving success, and just accepting that you are gonna have to make some sacrifices and put in work, then you're probably never gonna make it. I can't lie.
Never. You never make it. It's so easy to, that's the thing. We tend to just look at what people have instead of what got people there.
Yeah.
The journey is what people don't really focus on, But it's easy to look at the shiny stuff and go, that's what I want. The real hard part is getting the mind frame to get that stuff.
That's some sort of people like you, bruv, because like the journey is probably the most important part.
It's tough. The average age of a millionaire is 42. People are sitting there at 20, 21 thinking, oh my God, I should have £1 million by now. You have time. And that's the issue. You want it too fast. You don't want to have to work for it, to strive for it. So you just want it now.
Yeah.
But that's not the process. It takes time, takes energy, takes patience, takes determination. As we've said many times, in the past, few minutes, when stuff is going wrong, who are you? You should not change to circumstances. You should be able to push through as you are through any circumstance. And that's what determines if you're successful or not. Simple as. We all go through trials and tribulations. If you're religious, it's listed in the Bible. If you're spiritual, the earth was formed through a massive explosion. Do you know what I mean? These are things, hardships. You just have to push through. That's it.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
But let's think of the practical side. What do people need to do to, let's say, achieve this then? Like, so whilst being in the environment that they're in, like in the ends and so on, what's the practical things that you'll say people can do? We've mentioned some, but if you can just like...
Yeah, practical things. I think it's just a natural curiosity to learn more. Self-education is just better than standard education anyway. It's great to have a degree. It's great to have whatever qualifications you need, but you have to be hungry for more knowledge. Self-education is very, very important, whether it's within your job field or just within mindset cultivation, as we've been speaking of just now. So for me, that's been a really, a sort of strong point for me. I've just read a few books and I continue to read, which just helps me stay determined, stay motivated, and just the content that I consume, on YouTube. I watch a lot of people on there who are relatively successful, and they talk about mindset, but they also talk about their business ideas. It gives me inspiration to maybe think of something outside of the box. It's just self-education in itself, I think, is the most important thing you can do.
So like self-education, hard work, gaining knowledge, all of that stuff.
All of that stuff. Yeah.
I know you mentioned social media a few times, and let's speak about that a bit more, innit? Because social media is a big one, innit? So how do you think social media is like holding us back from achieving success?
We're talking about positivity, so let me focus on what social media gives us first. Cool. I'm just playing with you, but no, just to briefly say what it does. It does expose you to a lot of information in general. Positive information, it's there, but most of the time, social media is a severely limiting factor. We're spending way too much time on there, I think, in general. And as you know, I just, at least once every 3 months, I take a month off. I just log out, I delete the app just for me to reset, because it starts to breed a certain mind frame that you're not doing good enough. You're not successful enough when you
comparisons, FOMO, all of
that, your fear of missing out. Everybody's having a good time. Or somebody who's younger than you is, driving a Ferrari and has 20 million in the bank. Or, even the people that you might not be in your closer circle, that you might know their personal life, but might be close enough that you might see them around. When they're depicting a certain lifestyle, it's giving you envy. Why am I not like this person? Yeah. And it can be very poisonous, man. It really is a beast that we have to learn to take control of, because you could waste your life wanting what you see on social media and not actually spending the time to go out there and achieve it for yourself. And that's a massive issue in today's age. Personally, I think the younger generation, they're the most empowered in terms of knowledge, just exposure to different avenues, different information channels, like, you know, Instagram, Snapchat, even just the internet. There's influencers actually giving you blueprints on how to be successful. But it's a poison chalice, man.
Yeah.
Because it's just, they've got control and access to so much pointless information so young.
But at the same time, part of it's not their fault as well. It's the whole platform itself, the algorithm. Like, let's even think about the dopamine side. Like,
bro,
like dopamine, like it's a neurotransmitter that's to do with like reward and pleasure. And like, those algorithms, they really play on that. Like, I heard that what they do is that they will show you like a few nuggets. So like something that's very just say exciting, or something that you might find rewarding, something full of pleasure in it. But you're not gonna see that pleasure all the time. How the algorithm is like, it's like there's gonna be so many moments of dullness, and then eventually you might see another pleasuring post, then another moment of dullness again, the pleasure again. So like that's why there's times where we're literally just scrolling down when we don't even know why we're scrolling, because with dopamine, with our brains, we're just constantly looking for new things and looking for something that's going to excite us. But the algorithm's got in a way where we're just plugged into it, like the Matrix. So they know what they're doing. Apparently similar to like what they do with gambling and slot machines and all of those things, the same sort of principle. So like there's a bigger discussion to be had on that.
Of course. Look, you know, at the end of the day, you have to realize the more time you spend on the app, the more money that the social media company makes. You are the product. They're selling to you. They want your eyeballs on that social media app at all times. And so they're going to try their hardest to keep you there. And as you said, in the recommendation side of things, they just recommend what you continuously scroll over. And you can spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours scrolling a day. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
We have 24 hours in a day. If you're spending 6 hours on your social media, that's such a massive percentage of your day just gone that you're never going to get back. And you just have to be privy to it. You just have to be really privy to it and try and control it as much as possible. Because it can take over.
Control it, but it's controlling us.
It really is, though. It really is, because as you said, unconscious bias is so key, man. You know, how you're processing information all the time, you are a product of your environment to a certain degree, and what you consume makes up who you are. If you just continuously consume all of this pointless content on social media, Instagram, Twitter, now there's TikTok.
Yeah. Big up.
Yeah, they're good though. They're good. It's a good company. If they're going to sponsor this, yeah, you're great. Do you know what I mean? But bro, you know, it really can take a lot of time away from you, and you know, you really could be spending that time doing something really
What's an addiction? That's what I'm saying. Like, you're looking for that new hit, because at first, when you first jump onto it, because it's new,
you're just like,
it's but you're also excited, innit? But eventually you're continuously looking for that same sort of high that you first had at the beginning. And that's how it keeps you on it. Like, but you unplug yourself from this matrix, innit? Like, you take yourself off it. So would you recommend that people do a detox then?
Oh, 1,000%.
Why?
1,000%. For me, it's so crucial now. I have to do it. I'm actually going to go off it in October. So by next month, I'll be off for another month.
I've got booked in already.
Bro, it's booked in, man. Scheduled. Like that, scheduled. Every 3 months. You know, the summer's been great.
But how long did you come off it for?
1 month, man.
Whole month?
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Off of Instagram, off of Snapchat. I don't have TikTok or
people
Twitter.
Are crying right now. They're thinking a whole month.
Like, what? Instagram off for a month? Bro, it's so crucial, man. Like, honestly, because
start chatting to their family again.
Start chatting to their family again. Actually speaking to people on the phone. Actually checking in with your friends. And not just,
talk about it. So what do you like realize about yourself in those moments where you're in a detox?
No, for me, I think my focus levels go sky high. I tend to just focus on work, focus on different projects that I'm doing, or, you know, just me being more present. And that is what we're losing.
That's a present sound like some therapist.
No, but just here, like, you know, you're appreciating the moment. Yeah. How many times do you go to, you know, you're in the here and now. How many times do people go to a concert and they spend the whole time taping it instead of actually listening to it? It actually jars me. Like,
you usually pay to see your eyeballs.
You know, like you've paid like over £100 to go and see this artist, and you've literally spent an hour just taping them. You're not even there in the moment. You're not even there like relishing the physical moment. You're not present.
Yeah.
And that's what social media takes away from us, is the ability to be present. And when I go off it, it's like for the first 2 weeks, I just become super aware because, you know, naturally your hand just goes and it looks for your phone. You know, you have like 5 minutes of downtime, then your hand all of a sudden is just like some nitty, like it's a drug, and it is a drug. That's the issue.
It is.
You know, and you know, I just find myself being more present, and I have a lot more in-depth conversations. I call my friends more. I just tend to, you know, just appreciate good conversations more, because, and you tend to check in with people you haven't actually checked in with for a while. We look on social media, we might look on somebody's profile and assume that everything's okay.
Yeah.
But as we know, it's a facade. People just post what they want us to see.
So you don't actually get to have that meaningful conversation with them or check in, because like they could be going through a madness, innit?
And
but
you're just
you see
there.
the post, you're like, oh, he's probably cool.
He's all right. He's on holiday, or he just got back from holiday. He must be okay. You don't even ask if he's all right or not. He must be doing all right. And so for me, yeah, when I come off, I realize that, you know, I'm more focused, I'm more present, and you know, I do sleep better, man, because you know, a lot of people tend to go on their phones just before they go to bed. You know, it's not good for you. You know, then I tend to read more as well. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to just taking a break, and you know, then you become more focused. I become more focused on my fitness as well. I go to the gym more, you know, because you have to fill in the time.
You know,
that
people don't like you now. Man said come up for a month. They're like, "Hey, nah, this guy chatting rubbish, man. I ain't listen to this guy."
No, but you know, you have to plug in the gap of, you know, the time that you spend on there with something else, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm all trying to fit it in with these different things, like, and I try not to watch too much TV either. Maybe the occasional football match or whatever. But
man said no TV. What? No
TV? Bro, just like a tech. For me, it's more of a technology detox, because you know I'm spending all of my time on a laptop for work anyway. To then come home and, you know, spend it on the phone is silly, man. It's not productive, and it's just healthy for me.
Let's flip it. So like, how can we use it in our favor?
In your favor in terms of social media?
Social media, tech in general, like,
yeah.
I guess more social media, innit?
Yeah. Social media, I mean, it's great, right? It gives you opportunities for you to learn. You get exposed to so many different lifestyles that are not within your immediate friendship circle, right? So it's great. You know, you can go on somebody's profile who you think's doing well, and you can just do more in-depth research into them and how they've acquired their wealth, and you know, you can learn a lot, right? And in terms of if you're starting a business, it gives a great marketing platform, right? You could just promote to the masses and gain traction that way. So there's definitely plus sides to it, right? But in terms of you know, just just using it for positives, I think it just gives you exposure to different things, exposure to different people of different lifestyles, and provides like a good money-making platform. Can give you inspiration for and ideas for a business. It really can do a lot for you.
When you really deep, you decide who you follow.
Exactly.
So you can literally have a pattern to the extent where you've got, I don't know, motivational pages or like all the people that you want to potentially be like on your following.
And not watch anything else. But that's not the way it works, right? It gives you stuff that excites you.
Other stuff,
you know what I mean? You know, you go on the blogs or whatever. So yeah, you know, there's good with the bad, right? You know, every good thing has a negative.
It's discipline, though, isn't it? Discipline.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's discipline. It's discipline, and you being determined enough to say, okay, I'm gonna ignore the terrible stuff and focus on the stuff that I need. But, you know, it's hard when you're constantly on there. That's why you also need to take some time off.
Yeah.
We have some time off of work. We have time just away from people. That's why you tend to go on holiday. So why are you not having time off of social media? Just have a detox, have a break. You're not going to die. Trust me. You're going to be okay.
What's the withdrawal symptoms, innit? Let them know, innit?
Bro, as I said to you before, like my hand was twitching towards my phone every 5 minutes. Like there was one time, the first time I came off, that was what happened. Like I just found myself like, it's almost like it's just like a state of anxiety. Like, what do I do now? Like, I'm not on my phone. what do I need to do to fill this time? Like after work, I'm just so used to going through,
when you actually do, that's sad.
It's
the thing that you're questioning what you do now because you don't have a phone.
Because you don't have, it's not even that you don't have a phone. Social media.
Like, you can't live without it.
Bro, it really is an addiction.
Like,
man.
you're married to it. That's mad.
Bro, like it's part of it's become so ingrained and such a normal part of our lives that, it's very hard to, to take some time and just relax. And
but you know what? Watch my videos and my post and that, and then delete that innit?
Yeah, watch, like, and subscribe to this, and then delete that app, man, for real.
Then come back on for each video, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. But we spoke about reading. I want us to speak about it quickly. So like, reading is so important, man. That it really does shape your mind as well, especially when you're trying to like, develop yourself and so on. But it's not so. I guess not so prevalent in our community. Well, I don't hear many people speaking about it in our community, at least. So, my question is like, why do you think that's the case?
Unfortunately, it's never been cool to be, the person who's optionally trying to educate themselves.
Yeah.
And I think, the cool thing to do is just not be smart and just kind of just get on with it kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But I do think, reading in our community is getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
It's definitely way more popular than it was back in the day.
Yeah.
But as you said, man, it's easy to do what everybody else is doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else is not reading. You don't want to read. Fair enough. But if you really want to push yourself, all successful people read and all successful people write books. That is the key thing because they want to educate people on how to be successful.
Right, bro.
So that's it.
You got a book coming out, yeah?
Yeah, soon, man. Soon. Don't worry. Soon.
Watch for it.
Soon. Melanated and Proud. The guide. But yeah, man, it's important. It's important to read, man. It's important to educate yourself. We're not talking about physical books here. You can read articles online, anything, right?
Yeah.
You just have to be.
But when you're speaking about books, you're not really just talking about any type of book, though, are you? Like, it's more like a specific genre.
Yeah, of course. It's like, more so like mind frame books, psychology books. Two of the ones that spring to mind is Think and Grow Rich and Richest Man in Babylon. I'm currently reading a book on how to be productive. And also for me, I'm based within a certain industry, so there's a book called Challenger, which basically teaches you how to go against popular opinion. And it's such an interesting read because it's so funny when people are saying one thing, how we tend to all just sway. And it says in the book, truth comes from the majority believing in it, not necessarily the proof of the theory.
Wow. Yeah.
So if enough people say this is true, then it just becomes truth. But you as a person, you have to be that challenger and say, why is it true? Why are you doing things this way? And yeah, that's a book that I've read, which was really, really key for me. But yeah, those are the type of books that I
and that's what reading is like. Yeah, you asking that why is you reading to find out more. So knowledge, like, without you being aware of the truth or the facts, you are literally potentially giving your rights away without you actually knowing.
Exactly.
You're being misled, you're being deceived. It's all a lot of these like atrocities that happen in the world.
Yep.
A lot of them have been down to lack of knowledge or like deception. If you have the knowledge, you cannot be deceived.
Lack of knowledge, mostly. It's lack of knowledge, man.
And that's how people are destroyed.
Exactly. Literally. And it's think about it. You are really, really smart individual just on a base level. It's very hard for me to come and convince you of something you are so steadfast in for you to, believe that what I'm coming with overpowers what you are doing, the way you're leading your life. But your lack of education and you not knowing is where the loophole is. If I came to you and I said, your jumper is blue, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But if I said something to you like, where your jumper was manufactured, there's a certain type of dye that's not a true version of black, you might think, okay, wait, hang on, I don't know where this is, but it's because you don't necessarily know. You just don't know. So you can be convinced, and that is where the lack. That's where the lack of it is. That's where deception is. It's not somebody convincing you of what you believe is true to not be true. It's about them playing on what you don't know, and that's why it's so key for you to be self-educated, man. That's what it is.
You
That's
can
what it
literally
is.
tell me that it's illegal for 2 people to sit in this room,
Yeah.
and I could be like, oh, I swear, sorry, let me
Yeah,
leave.
let me just leave.
But if I actually know that you're chatting rubbish, I'll still be
You
hearing
used to
it.
be here. But yeah, this is it happens all the time. You when you actually start to realize certain situations, and just just in terms of even politics in general, just different situations that have happened in the world over the course of our human history, you realize it's all because of somebody playing on a simple loophole of, he doesn't know this, so this is what I can put as that being the truth. And that's where you gain authority, right?
And I feel like that's why it's very important for our community specifically. Like, so you're aware of like what we can actually do. So like reading, well, especially like self-development books or self-help books, they really allow you to understand how big of our potential is in terms of like, let me even rephrase that. How much we can actually do.
Yeah.
Like,
how much you can achieve
with the human body.
Yeah.
Like just realizing your potential. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it just takes you to listen to those that have come before you. Like think about how many years people have been on the earth for. You're literally just listening to people's stories, like just taking in that wisdom. And that's the only way that you can give yourself a better chance, by learning, innit? But I don't know if it's because it's placed in a book that puts people off, or they just don't want to learn. I don't know. I'm torn between the two.
It's not that they don't want to learn, it's that it takes effort.
Effort, again.
And that is the key.
But
if you're determined, you will do it.
But you know, people effortlessly, that makes sense. People effortlessly consuming information on like Instagram or whatever social media platforms. But the reason why they consume it is because it involves no effort.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
And the thing is, for you, the search of knowledge is hard. It's, for something to, Instagram is not going to give you things that are going to educate you all the time, because it wants to keep you entertained. And, it's funny because in terms of the things that are mostly productive, we tend to take more time off than the stuff that we do that's enjoyable. So when you're young, by your physical limitations, right, you could play football all day.
Hours, no water, no
non-stop.
food.
You're not coming off the pitch for no one. The minute you start picking up a book, an hour and a half, 2 hours later, you say, oh yeah, do you know what? Let me just take a break.
Yeah. Or you even just change sport.
Or you just change. And that's the point, right? It's about you making that conscious effort to be hungry enough to go and learn. Every single successful person reads. They're self-educated. They also want to educate, so they write books. Nobody's saying go out and buy a hardback. You can get a Kindle and read that on screen if that's up to you. There's Financial Times that you can subscribe to. There's YouTube channels, Bloomberg, Financial Times, The Independent. These are all news channels. You can subscribe to them and then get your information on there if that's what you like. It's about your effort level though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just about it. And that's the thing,
It's all about the search, man. The search for knowledge. Like,
and the hunger to know more. It's a hunger to know more. And that's what people don't have, because it requires too much effort.
Yeah.
It all boils down to your drive. How driven are you to be successful? How driven are you just simply to improve? That's it, man. That's
even deeper, like searching leads to potential treasure. Let's say, even with mining.
Yeah.
Look how hard mining is.
Yeah.
That's how people discover gold and other stuff.
Yeah.
So unless you're willing to
go and search,
dig deep into your mind, or realize what it is that we can do as human beings, you're not really gonna receive the gold or find the gold, because you're not searching.
Exactly.
If you don't seek, you don't find.
You don't find. It's just the way the whole world has worked. In terms of, how civilization was born, they traveled across the earth to discover new territories, to discover new people, to discover new cultures. Otherwise, you just become stuck in your own lifestyle and you don't improve as a civilization. Yeah. You're not exposed to new things, so you just don't move.
But how do we learn in general? We learn through either discovery, challenges, or I guess consumption, innit?
Yeah, consumption, but mostly it's through discovery and discussion, right? Yeah. You talk to different people.
The consumption,
yeah. So it's that consumption, discussion through different people, just speaking to other people, and then more importantly, it's discovery. You going out there and looking for it.
But that's another thing. Conversations.
Yeah.
What are we speaking about?
Yeah.
Think about how many conversations you have in a day, in a year, in a month. What are you actually speaking about?
Yeah, it's true.
Because that's actually an opportunity for you to actually gain knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it has to be like so
Deep
strict and
and
boring or whatever, but at least balance it out to the extent where you can actually gain something from the conversation.
Of course. But that's why it touches back on the point you made at the beginning, right? It's important to surround yourself with the right people. If everybody else is hungry for information, hungry, to improve, you will naturally have those conversations. It's so funny. I was talking to my boy the other day. He's a chartered accountant, and we're speaking about stocks and shares and all of these things. 5 years ago, we would have never been speaking about that. Yeah. But the point is, as you get older, you become more hungry because you want to be successful, you want to be driven, you want to be able to provide, and then you start naturally going to look for that information, right? I'm not a financial expert. That's not my field of expertise. So he's like my main point of reference because he's directly involved with finances. He taught me how to budget my monthly finances in terms of your outgoings, how much you have left to be able to spend on enjoyment, pay your bills, and then how much to invest. Just through him giving me that structure enabled me to be so much better off. 3 years ago I started that, and it's been so beneficial for me. So if he wasn't in my life, I wouldn't have got that exposure just from him, and that's just from one friend. Other friend talks to me more about mindset, determination, drive. Just me in terms of just being more open-minded to try new things. Yeah. And that's just, those are just two examples.
No, you haven't even got to go far to receive that.
That's it. I've just got to go to one person down the road. And that's the point.
I think people should just try this. Like, speak to your friends about something different, and I promise you'll be surprised about what they can actually give you.
Exactly.
Because everyone's got something inside to share.
Everyone's got knowledge. Yeah. Even if it's pointless knowledge, not to take it on board, but at least
No, but knowledge, even knowledge comes from their own experience.
100%. Yep. You're right.
There's always something to learn about another person.
You're right.
They could be so, what's the word? Dumb.
Yeah.
But their experiences can actually teach you a lot.
No, but you're right though. Experiences give you knowledge. It's true though. You're right.
So
somebody else telling you a story on how they did something might make you think, oh, whoa, why am I doing the same thing? Why don't I go this route? So yeah, experiences give you knowledge.
I remember before you said something about like when you was growing up, like the way reading was like advertised to you through like parents and so on.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily like the
yeah. No, I said yeah. I think what I said was reading wasn't really encouraged in a fun way, or it wasn't really promoted in the sense of it was beneficial to you. It was always presented as like a task or something for you to do. Your mom comes in the room and throws a book down at the table and just go, yeah, just read these pages, and then you're looking at this big book of like 1,000 pages and you're going, how am I supposed to read this? And then it puts you off. But if your parents came in with not a softer touch, but a much more methodical approach on how you're going to read the whole book, to say, okay, cool, this week you're going to read, or today you're going to read 3 pages, this week you're going to read 10 pages, and then we can discuss about what you learned. It's more interactive and it will encourage you to read more. But
you even get like a reading group. That's what people do,
group. Yeah, a reading group is.
I know it sounds a bit mad, but no,
it's true though.
It's lit.
It's true. As an adult, if you're at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this, yeah. As an adult, if you're scared of other people's opinions about what you want to do, you're not really an adult, bro. Like you're not really in control of your life. Honestly, if you're worried about like saying, "Oh, I want to go to this reading group," and then your boys are like, "Reading group? Why are you going there?" You can just say, because you owe no one an explanation as to why you're doing something. Period. End of. So but to touch on your point, reading in our community wasn't really encouraged as like a positive thing. It was more seen as a task, as like a chore. And if you get small incremental goals, attached to the big goal that you want to achieve, then it's ultimately going to make it easier. And that just goes for that doesn't just go for reading; it goes for a lot of other things. But we can go deep, man. But it's just so many avenues, There's so many avenues. But
yeah, this guy's a geek, innit? Man reads. No, it's mad. Like, another thing people should do once they start reading is memorizing, bro. Like, I can give you one little line. Couple of lines right now, innit? Hey,
go on.
Hey,
start spraying what?
I listen to this, yeah. All right. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought in shaping what he wills. brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills.
Damn.
He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. Environment is by his looking glass.
Hey, come on.
But I don't know who I am, you know, bro.
Where's the Charlie Sloth?
Hey,
Drop the bombs.
hey, I didn't know who I was. Like, bruv, I only jumped on this like a few months ago still, but
That's good though, man. That's good.
I fully like deep the words, innit?
Do you know what's so funny though? What you just do is how an African parent will recite half of the scriptures in the Bible though, bro.
Yeah, that's the next step though.
You see?
So I feel like that's skilling me up to do that next.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, it's just as you said that, it just reminded me like of how ingrained religion is. It's almost like part of you, and that's how you have to adopt self-education.
Yeah.
That's
Memorize
how you should do
it.
it.
That's
Memorize it, so it becomes a part of you. Do you know what I mean?
We memorized so many things. It's not even like it was hard. We memorized songs, word for word, lyric, bare songs. It's not just one song.
Bare songs, loads of songs.
Now imagine you memorize something that's actually valuable to you.
Yeah,
it's ingrained in you. As you said, like you've actually taken it inside.
Yeah,
and you always remember it.
Yeah, you always remember it. You always it'll always be a part of you. And you know, just like religion in terms of tough times, you might recite the Lord's Prayer, or you might recite Psalm 316 or something like that, right? But then when tough times come, you can have that quote that you just said, or another quote that's really inspirational to get you through those tough times, those mindset quotes to enable you when you are low energy. You need to get up, you need to read, you need to keep researching, you need to go to the gym, you need to stay on social media, you need to keep pushing towards your goal. Those are what make people. Exactly. That's what's going to make you successful.
It's your foundation,
it's your
man.
Foundation. As long as it does not waver, you're good, man.
What's in your foundation?
That's it.
Because like you said, what you've placed in your foundation, whether it's like positive thoughts, that is what's going to help you in a tough time.
Of course.
Like
100%.
Positive thoughts will lead to positive events. Negative thoughts will lead to negative events. It's just a fact.
Yeah. And I think I touched on this example before. In one of my old jobs, there was this colleague that I had. It was so negative. Oh, this is too hard, man. Oh my God, this is going against me. Nobody's helping me. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing that. This is rubbish. The accounts that I have, they're not really profitable. I can't make any money from them. I can't hit my target. And it started to get me down. I was feeling like, bro, like, am I in the right job? Like, what's going on here? Like, are my accounts crap? Like, am I not gonna hit my target? But I took like 2, 3, 4 weeks. I was like, do you know what? I'm not gonna talk to him as much. Do you know what? Let me just focus and just be positive and just think I'm gonna do the best that I can do. And as long as I do the best that I can do, it's gonna be.
So you quickly flipped it positively.
Just flipped it. I'm like, let me just focus on myself. Just do what I can do. If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it doesn't work, then I know it's bad, right? 2, 3 weeks, man. It was calm.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
bro, people do that so much, even in school time, exams, whatever. Don't let people put their feet on you. And I hate it so much.
It's so annoying, It's like even going into a game, like football games. That's why it's all about mindset. We all can run, we all can shoot the ball, we all can pass, we can, you can jump in the air, head or whatever. The tactics, right? What is it up here? You're going up against a team you lost the season before. Everybody in the change room like, oh my days, they beat us 3-0 last time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you really lost just through that.
You're done.
Mindset.
You're done. You haven't even touched a blade of grass. What is up here? What's in here? Like, are you determined enough to believe you can do it? And more importantly, are you going to act on it? It's okay saying you can do it, but what are you going to do to achieve it? What are you going to do to take action? And when you do that, that's the magic combination. You got to believe and then go out and try and achieve.
100%.
Just try. That's the point. Give it a good go.
Yeah.
There's so many football games that I've been in, I've played in. We've been like 2-0 down from half time. You're coming off. The whole team, their heads down, body language is in the mud. Oh my days, the striker's giving me hell today. Or, the defender's got me in his pocket, like it's just matching me for speed, whatever. And then all it's taking is like one person saying that, nah, man, let's not have this. Like, let's just go out and try something. Like, do you know what? Let's swap things around. You start here instead of you being on the right wing, come to the left wing, try and cut in, have a shot, take more chances at goal, just shoot, pass, be brave. Be brave on the ball. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Go out there, turn the game over. It's like 3-2, 4-2.
Man,
And you're not necessarily doing anything that's vastly different from what you've done before. It starts with the mind frame.
Yeah.
You go and you actually believe you can be successful, and then you act on it. That's it.
It's not your skills. It's not your qualifications.
No.
It's not your character. It's your mind.
It's just
that
your
makes
mind.
the final decision.
And you know, that's the thing, you know, we hold so much power. Everything comes through us, you know, everything that you're seeing, you're watching this podcast, this great podcast, everything around us that we've used to produce this, everything that we are even in to shoot this has been made by us.
From the mind.
Somebody has thought it. Somebody has actually thought it and brought it into existence through action. They thought and they executed. And that's all it takes.
But what came first? The thought,
mind,
the mind.
The thought, yeah. And that's it. You just your mind frame is so key. And it's so important that you learn that, you know, it's not emphasized, you know, a lot in our community. And that's the sad thing. You know, it rarely is. It's so sad. You hear some parents telling their kids more about what they can't do than what they can do.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that. You can't do that. No, it's not proper. Don't do that. You know, it's incredible.
That's all limiting behavior. Like, you need to start changing what you say, innit? Obviously, parents need to do that as well. It's more like I can.
Yeah.
Like, you can say, okay, you're not allowed to do something, but you can't say you can't. I feel that's too strong of a word to be using uselessly.
It's true. Maybe not now. It will come later.
Yeah.
But not absolutely you're not able to do it or you can't do it. You know, you should always believe, man. You should always believe. And it's like, even a good example is a YouTuber KSI, right? I mean, this guy's on course to be a billionaire. We're all looking at the next, you know, young billionaire within the next 3 to 5 years. If you want to make a bet, that's as sure as your mortgage, go and do it. He's gonna be a billionaire. He's from a Nigerian background. They sent him to private school. He went to private school. They paid all of these school fees, and he turned around to his parents and he said he wanted to focus on YouTube. How many African parents would have actually said, do you know what, go for it? Instead of going to university and sixth form, he dropped all of that and said, I wanted to focus on YouTube. How many parents would have told him, what sort of nonsense are you talking about? Go and pick up your books and learn. And it would have completely put him off the idea and he wouldn't be where he is today. His parents said, okay, we're seeing some success. They were even in his videos. They really empowered him. And now look, I'm sure he's worth about 40, 50 million pounds by now. And he took a mad chance. He didn't go down a traditional route. Now everyone is trying to be YouTubers, you see? So this is the issue, right? This is the issue. Until it's proven, nobody wants to take that risk. And why is that? It's about the mind frame that you've cultivated for yourself. And more importantly, it's about the people around you, your family and friends, who've empowered you to think that way. Are they giving you more possibilities instead of limitations? And that's the key, man.
Bro, people will only believe once they see. So like, if you believe something, don't expect other people around you to believe.
Yeah.
Because only when you've got the evidence, that's when everyone's going to jump on.
Yeah, that's when everybody's going to jump on. Because they've seen it proven, okay, now I can do this.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, people were frowning at YouTubers back in the day.
Yeah.
They were like, why are you on a screen talking nonsense for? Now everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to make it.
Yeah.
Not because they don't have the ability or they're not doing anything that's too different. They don't have the determination. They don't have the discipline. You know, even Chunk said it took him 3 years to see profitability from his channel. 3 years of constantly uploading videos where people, you get like 200 views, 100 views. How many people give up in the long way? How many people just go, "Bun it, man, I'm just going to focus on something else"?
Yeah.
That's a superstar that's not born. How many of those are there? Just because you don't have the drive, you don't have the effort level, you don't believe in those dark times. And you know, it's just important, man. It's all about your mindset. That's what
true, man. Hey, man's got a clap for that one.
Sorry, I went on a rant there.
Drink some water. Drink some water. You said some good gems. Hey, nah, it's facts. It's facts.
Yeah, that's. I think you know, in you know, speaking for the black community in our community, there needs to be pillars that are put up that we stand by. You know, the possibility to do whatever you want and to be self-educated, I think, are two that really need to just be enforced by now. Go out and learn more. There's different avenues to success other than the typical fashion. You know, you don't need to go to uni, don't need to go to sixth form. If you're that determined, you can start a business and blow.
Yeah.
And it's more about you believing you can do it. You know, those are the two things: self-education and belief. I think it really needs to now be ingrained in our community to try new things, and you know, it will go from there.
You have to think big. That's the thing. Don't just focus on copying someone. Where's your own dream?
Yeah, I get what you're saying in terms of like dreaming big, but you know, nothing is new under the sun.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think replicating somebody else's idea is bad.
No, definitely not.
It's not bad, but you know, it's more about your mind frame. Like, are you gonna push through? That is the key. You know you're gonna make it. Everybody else around you is like, nah, I tell you, give up, man. It's like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? And you make it, man. That's it. It's all about mind frame. It's all about mind frame.
It's that foundation, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? Another thing I want to speak about is the sort of role models that people have around, innit? So like, I remember before when we was discussing, you were saying how like the representation of, let's say, black people in other fields, innit? It's only like, it's quite skewed to like certain areas, innit? So do you feel like that's actually preventing us from actually achieving some sort of success because we're just focused on one area?
Yeah. No, it's a good question. I think representation accounts for a lot in terms of success, in terms of giving people exposure to what they can do. Because if you see somebody that looks like you doing something, you're more likely to try and go for it. And I think I said before, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but we don't need it. I think I said before,
chest, man.
I think I said before, we don't need any more footballers and rappers.
Yeah.
We need more people in different avenues of business, right? And we are starting to get there. I think, you know, just in the entertainment industry in general, we're starting to see so much success there. And in terms of like, just different industries, you know, we're starting to get there, but we have to be saying to ourselves, we are going to be the trendsetters. And that's the point. Are you prepared to take that role on yourself and say, I'm going to try something new and make it and break the mold? But yeah, representation is key, man. You know, I work in the tech sector. Now there's a little bit of representation in different pockets, right? But just in a general sense of things, there's not a lot of black tech millionaires, a lot of black tech billionaires. The further up the hierarchy you go, there's not really a lot of representation there in terms of like a black CEO or black CTO, like a person of senior level management. There's not a lot of representation there, but over the next few years, I'm definitely sure that there will be some, and who knows, it could be me. So
it could be.
as long as I work hard and you know I want to achieve that, then I'm sure I'll get there.
Positive thinking, I like that.
Positive thinking. Come on. You just have to think like that. But I think, you know, it's more so, the representation is getting more, but yeah, man, we just need to be brave and take the risk anyway, man.
Yeah, take the risk. Even if you're trying to do something, there's no representation. Be that person.
Shouldn't have to see somebody that looks like you to believe you're going to be successful.
I understand that. Everyone's different. Some people need an example. But
young people especially, I think more so, you know, representation counts for the youth. You know, that's what you become drawn to what you're exposed to, and that's the key thing.
Because in the end of the day, you're just showing that it's possible.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, you know, now you know, for me, I remember when I first read that Oprah was a billionaire. That was like the first, you know, black female billionaire I'd heard of. But then there's loads of, you know, black billionaires now. You know, even the most recent one was the guy who invented Calendly. He's a Nigerian black billionaire. And I mean, all across Africa, there's loads. You know, Aliko Dangote. You know, and there's another. There's many. And you know, you don't have to look far to see the inspiration of where you can hit. And the inspiration is there, but you gotta be determined.